The folks here, they are bundled up, but they're ready for football as you get a look at First Energy Stadium in Cleveland, Ohio. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cleveland Browns. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from Cleveland. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Now a play fake, and it's Watson. They'll roll him out right. Got an open man. That's David Njoku, the tight end. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there, a 22. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a first down. Now Watson. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. Only able to gain a couple there, and it'll be second down. The Browns sit 9-4 now on the year, and they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset, being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them, and I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
First carry for Nick Chubb. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down. Well, this defense for the Ravens, they were excellent a week ago in the win over Pittsburgh.
And the big difference in the ball game, their ability to force turnovers, 3 of them, in fact. Being able to take the ball away, give it back to their offense, that's something that's emphasized each and every week, and they carried it out.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. They run it again with Chubb. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. Give him the third down conversion, 5 yards on the play. Well, these two teams hooking up for the second time this year. They first met back in October, week 7, and it was the visitors getting the win there, so they'll be looking for the sweep back here at home. So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They go up the middle with Chubb. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They'll try the air now with Watson. It's caught at the 10. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Amari Cooper, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Browns will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Extra point by York is up and good. And that makes the score 7-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. A collegiate star here in the Buckeye State, it's J.K. Dobbins.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
A good gain on first has them set up with second and just a couple of inches now from the 29. They go play action now. Jackson. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Chubb will get the call running left, and just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. So that time they got the left guard with a hold.
And let's face it, in today's ball, you might have that 330-pound guy you're supposed to clear out of there. You might need a little bit of extra help by grabbing the jersey and trying to ride him out.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. They give to Chubb out of the gun. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. Without the previous penalty, that would have been a first down. Instead, it's just a gain of 10.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. That'll give them 8 that time, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will.
Oh, I like it.
From the 5, here's 2nd and 2. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. 4 yards on the play. That's going to lead to 1st and goal. He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
They'll run with Chubb. And no signal yet. I don't think he got in. He didn't. They'll mark him at the 1. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
Another shot from the 1 on 2nd and goal. To throw is Watson. And that's going to be caught for a Browns touchdown. 2 first-quarter touchdown passes now for Deshaun Watson. And the Browns lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. Extra point by York is up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. From the 10. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen, and they need for it to happen now.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Play action. It's Jackson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack, and it'll lead to a 3rd and long.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
$14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. And for the Browns, a nickel set here on 3rd down. Here's Jackson to throw. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started.
It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. And again, it's Chubb. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. And this will be caught at the 30.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. Hard to believe that arm strength was a knock on Deshaun Watson coming out of Clemson, but he showed what he's got there.
And this is more of the same right here. These guys have definitely been the aggressors here in the first half. They pushed the envelope in terms of play calls, and that's reflected in the score. And now they're in a position to widen this lead.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10.
And that's going to be caught by Peoples-Jones.
That helps the completion percentage, but not much else, and now it's 3rd and 10.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Watson now to throw. He's got his tight end, David Njoku. Touchdown! Deshaun Watson with his 3rd touchdown pass of this first half.
And the Browns have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. Extra point by York is up and good.
And it's now 21-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit, and if they don't score here, That's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Jackson now. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked out and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down.
Jackson on the give to Dobbins.
And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. And he's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
He'll find Dobbins out of the backfield.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18.
On 4th down, Matt Araiza sent on to punt.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Here comes Grant on the return.
A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return.
And out will come the offense as they take over. The Cleveland offense ready to go.
Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. And they've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
2nd down, here's Chubb again.
It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Ravens, they'll take over. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're still in search of an initial first down as they come up here 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
Tackle by Jordan Elliott.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They go play action with Jackson. And that's going to be too high, out of bounds and incomplete.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Jackson. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Myles Garrett, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign.
Here's Matt Araiza now.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Returnable for Grant. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman from Orlando. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. The Browns drive about to get started.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts.
Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. A shotgun snap for Watson. And he gets it to his running back, Nick Chubb.
And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here.
Third and 2, Watson. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper.
And he is going to have a Browns first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2.
Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Watson on first down.
Looking for and finding Amari Cooper again.
And he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So now, following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Off of play action, it's Watson. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game.
And the Browns continue to pull away here in this first half. Extra point by York is up and good.
And the route is on here in this first half. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone.
And deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And I believe he was able to get this back. He was. Boy, after giving up the touchdown, lucky that didn't turn into another.
I didn't do this in college, but I did it in high school. When you return kicks and you lose it yourself, the panic that goes through you and the determination to get the ball back, I don't even know how to describe it. And I think we just saw an example there.
Yeah, and the relief when you get it back like he did.
Yeah, you go to the sidelines, you know you're going to get yelled at, but you can handle it because you got the ball back.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
And with the score where it is, even though I think they'd love to get back to the locker room, they may be forced to try and get something out of this drive.
And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom, quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. So we have reached halftime here in Cleveland with the Browns on top. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Ravens set to receive the football, trailing here as we resume action in the third quarter. This taken in at the goal line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
We'll see, Charles, if they had a chance to hit the reset button at halftime. They have not scored. They're facing this big deficit. And if they're going to come back, it's going to have to start right now.
Yeah, and for them, it's not dwelling in the negative because, yes, they were totally ineffective in the first half. But we've seen many games that have flipped around in the second half. It all starts with this drive right here. They get something good going, put some points on the board, they begin to have hope.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. To throw is Jackson.
Well, that's complete to the fullback, Ricard.
4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
I wouldn't be surprised to see the next step in utilizing this position is to actually utilize more of a scat back in this spot because we saw the catch there, right? He made it, but he's a bigger, stronger guy, maybe not quite as elusive as maybe someone else you would put there.
Yeah, didn't get the big yardage there you might out of a smaller back. On third down, Jackson.
That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end.
And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
Meanwhile, Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. Well, still in the third quarter here. Now, you look at the scoreboard, that deficit probably a little too much to overcome, but completions like that may be something to build on for future weeks.
Yeah, it's all about ending things on a strong note here, isn't it? Because my mindset is it's a new ball game from here to the end. Make sure it's a good one and close it out.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And he's brought down inside the 20 at the 18-yard line.
I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They looked like a different team here in the third quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there were very many trash cans that got kicked over, that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
Now a throw to the end zone on first down, but it winds up incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
To throw again is Jackson.
They set up the screen for Dobbins.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play, and it'll be a third and about 13.
Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. John Johnson with the INT.
And the Browns are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line.
They were well aware of the scoreboard as they went into halftime, and they know how tough it's been to put up any kind of points. But if there's a positive after that play, is that they were able to take a shot at the end zone on their opening drive of this half. The negative, though, that shot at 6 ended in an interception, and we know that's not going to jumpstart this struggling offense.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
They had the big halftime lead. Their defense just helped them out further by forcing the turnover, so things are starting to look pretty rosy.
They certainly are, but they've got to be careful about getting complete.
Trying to get it to Beckham, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Patrick Queen, and the Ravens are going to take possession of the football. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the third quarter, it would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And this is picked up by the Browns. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
So now our referee looking at the sideline saying, are you sure? But yes, this defense has accepted the penalty, so that means they will not take possession on the fumble recovery. Well, not sure why in the world you do that, but that is apparently the decision.
Now a play fake, and it's Watson. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
And to put it mildly, this is a tough spot defensively. They have to come right back out and defend their red zone. But how about that good first step towards forcing them to settle for at least 3 points? I think they're also thinking bigger right now. Imagine being able to stop them totally and change the momentum.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. And Chubb will try the middle here. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Now, after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. Faking the give. Now Watson. He completes it to Beckham. Touchdown, Browns. Odell Beckham. 25 yards for the touchdown.
And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by York is up and good.
And that makes this 35-0 now. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
Now, a deep ball there on second down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1.
They'll try and run for the first with Edwards. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on first down. The Ravens send their punter out now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. This is taken at the 18. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Browns drive about to get started.
And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime. If you're a good football team, you spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively. Second down, here's Chubb again. And he'll push forward to the 37, gain of 2. And that's on the guard, Wyatt Teller.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. Back to throw, Watson. And he's got Cooper on the out route. That's complete. And he's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a first down.
Well, up big, but still not hesitating to take some shots downfield, CD. I guess they really want to hammer home their dominance in this one.
Yeah, that much is apparent, partner. If they keep completing throws like that, they'll keep that gap awfully wide as they've established already.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. It's caught at the 10. Touchdown. Odell Beckham with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year.
And the Browns have taken a 6-touchdown lead.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors, but that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go.
York now for the extra point.
And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he'll be stopped right around where he would have been had he gone down to a knee, maybe a yard shy of there at the 24.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Play action. It's Jackson. He's got a man. It's his fullback. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes that's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Throwing is Jackson.
And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
The Ravens send their punter out now. He's been terrific so far. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is brought in at the 21. It's a 49-yard punt, but subtract 9 there for the return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
The Cleveland offense ready to go.
They're obviously right now in the driver's seat, comfortably ahead. They've scored on a couple straight possessions, Charles, and I mean, for them, I guess it's just more of the same, right? Keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah, it's not typical for us to see games out of reach in the 3rd quarter. Right now, they're unstoppable in this one. And seeing how they just came out onto the field, it does appear like they're done scoring points in this one. They look awfully confident.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. From the gun, it's a give to Chubb. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all.
That's into a crowd and intercepted.
And he will bring this back. It's a pick 6 and a Raven touchdown.
Well, no surprise to see that one, partner. The league's #1 defense coming through with a huge pick 6.
And it's plays like that one that have made them the most feared group to face this year. Offenses, they're trying to figure out how to work around them rather than work through them. Big-time impact playmakers scattered throughout the unit on every level, and they can change a game at a moment's notice.
So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
Taken at the goal line. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones, and it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season. Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On third down, it's Nick Chubb, and he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. A give. This is Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, you know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And some room to roam now. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A gain there of 21 yards.
How about that there? No frills, no additives, right? Nothing crazy. Just find a way to pick up the first down. A nice run right there.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb, and he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Chubb on the counter, and he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. Here's Chubb on the read option. And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the 1st on the 35-yard stripe. Watson will step away, and out comes Cade York to handle this 4th down field goal try for the Browns. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt. York able to send this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So they hadn't called on him at all until this point, but he comes through here and buries one from long range.
Yeah, that's awfully impressive because usually kickers like to get that first one out of their system in the first quarter, sort of get them into the flow of the game, but to come in this late and knock it down from long distance, give him a lot of credit.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line. Now, fourth quarter, certainly not enough time for a comeback, but nice to see them making use of the time remaining to try and make this one a little more respectable.
Yeah, I think the ultimate goal, good execution, be crisp, be sharp, and find a way to put some points on the board.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. From midfield now, here's Jackson. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
On third down, here's Dobbins. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. Not at all what they envisioned on third down. 3 yards in the wrong direction.
I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
Here we go. It's Jackson on fourth down. And for a third time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown.
The York on now for the extra point.
And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive.
We said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD, but unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Jackson. His throw incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
The offense on third down tonight, just one conversion in 8 tries. Not good. This is 3rd and 10. Jackson now. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Jackson. And his throw here's incomplete.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration, the body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jackson.
And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game.
Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
Now yet another incompletion here as they fail to connect on third.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And for the fourth time tonight, it's an interception. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And the Browns are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Another great play defensively. They've been sharp on both sides of the ball, Charles, but that interception means that this defense very well keep them down to single digits on the scoreboard in this game.
And that's certainly something to smile about, isn't it, partner, if you're on defense? Because your goal every game is to pitch a shutout, but you and I both know that's pretty unrealistic. But to hold a team below double figures in a game, in an NFL game, that's certainly something to take pride in.
So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Second and 12 now at the 44-yard line.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. He'll get 2 on the keeper, but it becomes now a 3rd down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the 1st down and move the chains.
They go up the middle with Chubb. And this won't be enough. A good secure tackle, and they stop him a few yards shy at the 46. 9 yards on the carry, but it's going to lead to a 4th down. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the 1st down. Close it out.
So on trots the field goal unit, and wow, this is going to be a challenge here. This was the old NFL record distance for decades, a 63-yard attempt.
York able to send this one through. Wow, I mean, it's so rare to even see one attempted from that distance, CD, let alone converted, but he came through with confidence and matches what was Tom Dempsey's 43-year NFL record at one point of 63 yards.
Yeah, I can still see that highlight of Dempsey making that kick, and nowadays we see it a little bit differently because, remember, Dempsey was a straight-on kicker. But these guys nowadays, the range keeps increasing, and they keep putting it through the posts.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. What do you do here down like this in this situation? Do you maybe just pick something out of the playbook you haven't called in a while, or you call it a day?
You can do that, or you pick something that's a staple for you and should work better and try and execute that on the way out the door and maybe get back to base and feel a little bit better as you end a ball game that's been a frustrating one for you.
And we'll see if they go back to base.
And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season, but on game day, you both want to show your best, and I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for Cleveland, it's a 10th win of the year now as they move to 10-4. And they'll get another home date next week as the Saints will come to town. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they'll drop to 10-4 on the year. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Atlanta Falcons come to town.